Welcome to my channel. Share your story. Today we invite Miss Wake to share her story. Hope you like it.
Good morning. Thank you. Hi. Thank you so much for your invitation. This is such an honor to be in your channel. And I was invited with Dr. Chen. Dr. Chen, we worked together for a long time, and he said that your story will be interesting to share. And I hope so, because I don't know if that is, but every story, every chapter, you're bound to touch someone. And so sharing this story may touch someone and inspire them in their life here. So thank you.
You're very welcome. So we want to know about you since you're Philippines, so how you get there and then when you start.
Yes, so I came here in the United States in 1994, fresh from college in nursing, my bachelor's in nursing, and then 10 years later I went for my master's, and then another 10 years I have my doctorate, and that's not because of me, it's because of the sacrifices of our parents. So I came from the Philippines, and my mom worked in Saudi Arabia, and then she met my stepdad and then got them here, so that's how I came here to the United States. And it has been a great journey, not necessarily a easy journey, but here we are. We're blessed because of that. So in 1994, now the journey before we got here to the United States, especially with you, that our culture, our parents, our family believes in the education, and they want us to learn education, because education, you cannot take that away from you. My grandma always say that you cannot take away education with you. So education is very, very important. So we've been really blessed to been able to finish school. Now, finishing our school, and I'm sure your generation as well, that doesn't mean the generation behind me, which is my grandparents, my mom. Most of my mom's generation, they have some college degree, not necessarily finished college, because they had to choose to work or school or both. But of course our parents, they chose to work, and so some of them did not have or did not finish college education. Because of their sacrifices, they were able to impart that education with us. And in the Philippines, and I'm sure some of yours too, and most third world country, and in most Asia as well, the culture is your parents are separated. Now that doesn't mean they were separated because of a heartbroken or heartache, but they were separated because they have to choose that to work to have a better living and better lifestyle for their family. So my mom had the opportunity to work out of the country, which is Saudi Arabia, and then the other parents stay at home. And so growing up, we didn't really have the parent there because they're both working, they're out there. But we have cousins and grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncle to guide us. There's still a difference if it's your parent, So I think God made me very, very strong and independent. And I think since childhood, I've always been a very independent person. If you meet my mom and me, you would not think we're related, because my mom is very quiet, very sweet, very nice. I'm the opposite. So when people are introducing us, they kind of like question, "That's your mom? That you guys are related?" No. And I was like, "Yeah, but she's nicer. I'm not." It's always tell. But I guess because it's just when you don't have parents and you learn to survive. Yeah. You survive, and you need to be independent. And so, and I think God made me strong, and God made me independent. That's a good thing, but that's also a bad thing, because I got so independent that I kind of didn't need God in some of my life. Okay, I grew up with my faith, thank goodness for my grandma. She introduced us to our faith, and my grandma is a wonderful, wonderful lady. I miss her so much. And she introduced us to church. We go to Catholic church, and we have a lot of tradition when we go to church. And I remember my grandma would say, you do everything, you can party all week, all that, but you gotta give that 1 hour to God. And so that 1 hour is you go to church once a week. No matter what you do the night before, you gotta give that. So I remember, growing up, you become college, you do something the night before, you can't get up early. But I always hear my grandma says, you give that 1 hour. You party all night, you gotta give that 1 hour. So I get up and I go to church, 1 hour. And reading the Bible, growing up, my grandma, you probably didn't use the glasses. I'm only in my 40s, I start using glasses, and my grandma, they have strong minds, strong eyes, and very little on the things that they read in the Bible. And so we were encouraged to read the Bible too, but growing up, that Bible is like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. What is this, So, and working at the hospital, I have met a friend who invited me to their Bible study. And so hearing that, when you don't read the Bible and you're like, I was like, what? Oh my gosh, no. But of course, when it's your friend and their staff, you ask them to do something and they invited you, you have the honor and respect to come too. So they invited me to church, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this Bible study, So I went to a Bible study. I met great people there, and even though I want every week to come, before I even come, I'm dreading to come. I don't know why I'm drawn. I was drawn, and on my 30s, they helped me walk through my walk with the Lord, and so that has been a great thing. I've also worked with wonderful doctors that love the Lord, and learning from both doctors that have two different styles. And people always, ask me, doesn't that make you crazy because they have two different styles? And for me, that was a blessing to me, because as a nurse practitioner, you have all these responsibilities, and you gotta know, and you gotta be independent. However, you still have the heart humility to learn, and I love learning. So having two wonderful doctors that have two different styles, I was just like a sponge. That I'm just soaking all the knowledge that I could get from these two wonderful doctors. And so when I'm stuck with one case, I would hear, okay, what is the style of this doctor? Okay, what would this doctor think? And so that helped me and helped me guide the patients that we deal with. And they both become like a father figure to me, because they help me through on my walk in this. And it's not just a work relationship, but the respect that they give you because of not only the knowledge, but how we work together. And I guess when you work with believers in Christ, there's no boss. There's still, of course, there's authority. They are your technically your boss, but there is also a respect that you are my brothers and sisters in Christ. And so there's a really great respect in there. So I have so much high respect with the doctors that I work with. So it's great to go with that. But my walk with Christ, I wouldn't say it's just a work in the park that I just, now I go to this church, now I go to that church. It wasn't like that. It has its chapters, and the layering, when they say you layer an onion, right? One at a time. And being a very strong person, I've always loved and protected the underdogs. I always have the heart for the underdogs. When I see things that are underdog, I find a way to help those underdogs. And I became so strong and so independent that I'm swaying further and further from the Lord. And so one time while I was, I guess it's my 30s, that it was 13 days before Christmas. And it was a fun day, all day of shopping. And again, once you become comfortable, we came from humble beginning, and everything that we have right now is because of the sacrifices of our parents, of the generation before. So nothing that we have now is not because it was easy for us. It wasn't. But our generation, I'm sure your generation too, paved the way for us to be a little bit easier, right? They'll probably, work hard for us. And so our generation, past generation, they gave their opportunities and took some other opportunities so that we can even have a better opportunities. And so that's a blessing for us. So 13 days before Christmas, again, I'm the strong person, I'm independent, nobody knows my weakness. I don't show people my weakness. If I don't know anything, I'll go and find out for myself, and then we don't want to show our weakness, because I believe that people see your weakness, they use that against you. So we're survivors, people, us immigrants, we're survivors, right? So we want to take this opportunity, great opportunity. And with that, being strong, so I don't think so. I needed that, Lord, and you help others, and I kind of maybe call him for 911. Okay, out of kind of respect on that. I'll take care of this, Lord. You take care of others. So 13 days before Christmas, came from shopping, and a deer crossed on Highway 50 by Christmas. A deer crossed, and before I knew it, all I see is we're flipping, and a friend of mine, she was screaming. We were like, I don't know what to do, but we just kind of like, and then in the median. And then lots of cars came, and ambulance came, and I did not feel any pain or anything. I was fine. Got out of the car and I was fine, and the paramedics was asking me all these questions, and I did not want to go to the ambulance. And why? Because I'm okay, but they still encourage us to go to the ER. So I went to the ER. I was drove there to the ER, and I got out of the ER at 3 a.m. Went back to work at 9 a.m. and
you have a lot of energy.
Yes, because why, you're okay, you're fine, so keep going, right? And so I think most of us Asian people, we don't call in. We don't call in to work. You can work, you get up, you go, right? We work. We're hardworking people. And so they said, oh, how was your weekend? I said, good. I just came from the ER, came at 3 o'clock this night. What are you doing here? I had a car accident. Oh my God, you should stay home. Like, there's really no reason to stay home. And so I went on, and so Christmas came, New Year's came, and then after New Year's celebration, Christmas holiday celebration, I had this uneasiness feeling, a heavy feeling. And I don't know why. I'm okay, I'm fine, I don't know why. And
you're depressed inside.
Inside, I just don't know what it is. And all I did was cry. I'm like, I'm not gonna show people I'm crying. So at night I would go to my closet and just cry. I don't know what I was crying. I thought I was going crazy. And I still go to the Bible study, and this time you're getting close to these people, and I don't know why I went to their church. And not that Catholic are a great church too. So I went to their church. Something's drawn to me, but I was crying. Every night I was crying. I don't know why. I thought I was going crazy. And so I asked for prayers. I talked to my friends. I went to a counseling. Still not able to identify why you're crying. It's like when we were kids, It's like I got all this accolade, and not to brag about it. I'm not bragging that, oh, you got a master's degree, oh, you got a doctorate. We strive for up there. We strive for goodness. We strive for great education. What else can we be done to improve ourselves? It's all about ourselves. Let's improve ourselves. Let's improve ourselves to get better and better and better, right? And I achieved that. I think I have achieved that. When I got to the top, I was like, this is it? Is this it, being on the top?
Suddenly feel you lost the goal.
It is. It feels like that. It's like, what's the purpose of being on the top? And I feel like if I look at my thing, I got a good job, I got a family, I got kids, everybody's healthy, nobody is nothing. If you look at it from the outside, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. But I think I got so independent, again, that I didn't need the higher power. It's like when we were kids, when our kids are walking across the street and we don't want them to run, we hold them back and pull them back, right, for safety. And then little by little, as they grow, we let them go, we let them, give them independence, but then we pull them back again. And as I was getting more and more independent, and I'm getting higher and higher in my achievements that I'm thinking achievements, God is pulling me back. God is pulling me back. And things are crumbling. It's like your house looks so good on the outside, but you're actually having a lot of termites. And it's slowly crumbling. And that was my personal life, is crumbling. And no matter how I try to fix patching the termite damages, it's not, because it's a termite. It needs to. So I'm patching, I'm doing my work, I'm doing everything to get that personal thing, right? But, and it's really thing that God said, that He's saying that we're not supposed to be strong. We're not supposed to be independent. And it says, I felt so weak. Even though I was strong, I feel so weak. In Corinthians, it says, for when I am weak, then I am strong. And so that crying, one night I felt this peace. And I was still crying. I still don't know why I'm crying. I have no idea why I'm crying. Why? And I tell myself, why are you crying? What are you crying? There's nothing to be crying about. Your life is good. People have more problems than you are. What are you crying for? And so but I felt this peace, and that says, I didn't hear the Lord say it, but I just felt it. And how I felt, it says, it's okay. Just keep crying. Just keep crying. I am here with you. I am here with you. And that weakness of humility, of giving everything to the Lord, whatever it is, it's like, kind of like, yeah, I got you. I got you, kid. You got so independent. You got far from me. Now you don't know where you're going. You have no direction because you're so far from me. So far from me. And so I decided to follow Christ. I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this looks like. I don't know, So, but I'm going to follow you, Christ. Whatever that looks like. I don't know what that means, So, past relationship was not following the Christ, and I said, and that was the hardest and the scariest thing that you could ever say. I am going to follow Christ with or without you. And it's like, are you going to be a home wrecker or what? Because you're going to follow Christ. And remember, God says, Jesus said, sell everything and follow me. Give up everything and follow me. That was the scariest thing that you could ever imagine. So, but I did. I followed Christ. And there goes the journey. That journey is no walk in the park. Now I feel great. Now I'm a Christian. Now I have no problems. That's when the problems have a little bit more eminent, And then, because people think as Christian you have no problem, you're excused to anything. But actually we face more challenges, But we cannot do it alone. We cannot do it alone. And because iron sharpens another iron. We have to be connected. We have to be with body of Christ. Because your head cannot just be alone and do its thing. Your one foot cannot be without the other foot. Your one hand cannot be on the other hand. Our eyes, it has to be one. And so God started to clean me from inside out. He's just cleaning me. So as I was walking in this journey with Christ, He's peeling all these things. Remember when you cut the onions, do you cry? Yeah. It's the same thing, right? He's peeling every layer in my life, from the very, very, very childhood, whatever hurt that I had as a childhood, or it's just peeling that. And so when I was doing counseling and I was walking with the Lord, he gave me this thing, and I fully understand now. I fully understand what I was crying, okay? So he said, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come. So that night of my car accident, okay, and then he just allowed me to celebrate the Christmas, because, you know, hey, don't cry on Christmas Day, you know, enjoy the happiness, enjoy the holiday, right? So as I was walking, I was like, it just really like struck me in my heart. The old has gone, the new has come. I did die. Remember, the paramedics told me, you know, you're not hurting, because, you know, if you look at your car, you should have been dead. You should have been dead. I was crying because I was mourning my old self. I was crying because someone died that day. I died. My old me died. If you knew me 10, 20 years ago, you're probably not going to like me. You probably would not want to have anything to do with me. You know, I'm still a sinner. I still sin every day. I'm not like a perfect Christian here, okay? I still have my sin every day. But because of Christ, because of grace, of that grace, there's hope in Christ. We have to persevere, and we build up our character, and then there is no other hope but in Jesus Christ. There's no other hope in Jesus Christ. So as I walked through this life, he said, I made you independent. Whoever you see, what you see is what you get. I made you independent. So whatever you are, God made you that way. Don't question it. He made you. He created you. You know, he knows every strings in your hair, everything in you. He made you, he made you beautiful, okay? He made you on that image of God, you know? So anything in you, God made that. Anything in us, God made that. So he made me independent. I accepted that. But not independent to be, I don't need you, God. He made us independent, so we be dependent, independently dependent on God. Nobody tells us to be dependent on God. God tells us you need to be dependent on me, because it's like a branches of the vine. You know, we are only the branches. He is the vine. He is the root. We cannot go away from him because of that. And he also, I'm into like at the time when I was going through this, I like dates. I write dates when I guess it's the nursing background. We write the date, the time, you know, and what day it is, you know. So we kind of like when we're charting and we're doing so I've been trained to do that. And so when I look at stuff, I like numbers. And then this time, when I look at numbers, I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's a Bible verse on that number. You know, so one day, all my bills came in, and they have the same number. And so the same number is 35. So all my bills came in 35. I'm like, oh, what is that? And so maybe there's a Bible verse that's 35. So actually there is, because at the time, remember we said no direction and stuff. So I got into the Proverbs 3:5, and it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Okay, all independent people, they kind of like, I can do this. If you want to do it right, you might as well do it yourself. Don't even trust others, right? But here, trust in the Lord and lean on your understanding, and in all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. And so I have submitted to the Lord, and he's really made my path straight. As I was falling in love with the Lord, and a gentleman came to me. And I was like, heck no. There is no way that I am swaying my eyes on the flesh. It has to be, I'm so in love with the Lord. I don't need anybody. I'm so independent. I can take care of my kids. I don't need no man. Okay, I don't need any man. So I am not like, oh no, I was not thinking to remarry. Okay, and my friends were like, oh, it's time for you to meet someone. I don't want to meet someone. I don't need anybody. I'm fine. I'm good. Okay. I'm so busy with my kids. I'm so busy with the Lord. There's no way. Those are distraction. Okay. So one day, this gentleman invited me for lunch. I'm like, why? I don't want me for lunch. And it was like, just lunch. I was like, we'll see, And so I call my Christian mom that I say, and they'll tell me, yes, no, because you want to make sure you're guiding, right? Because our flesh is very weak, right? Our spirit is strong, but our flesh is so weak. So, and I was like, no, you gotta see that person. You gotta talk to that person. I said, I'm gonna do it for lunch, but I'm not doing anything. So when I agreed to the lunch, this gentleman said, okay, I can pick you up. What time? I said, nope, you're not picking me up. You are giving me the date, the time, and I said, I'll give you the day and the time, and it's not around here. I wanted to protect my children, So it's a small town, right? And so we met, and I checked that list, and I said, all right. I said yes. I said yes to my friends that told me that I should meet this gentleman, and that's it. Gone. I came home that day after the lunch. We did a quick lunch, nothing to it. I did not feel anything for that person because I was not entertaining anything at all. Like, lunch, check, done. So I even offered to pay for my own lunch, I'm not, no. So, but I came home. I was very heavy. Very heavy. I was very, very heavy in me. I was like, I prayed and cried to the Lord and says, what are you doing, Lord? I have no interest in anyone. I'm in love with you. I don't need any distraction. I don't need. And it was just heavy. Very, very heavy in me. And few weeks later, I got asked again to meet, and as much as I practiced to say no, if this person called, no thank you. Well, this person asked, what's the first thing I say? Sure, when? And then when I hang the phone, I'm like, what in the world? You were practicing to say no, And then we meet and stuff, and long story short, I felt so heavy, and I said, it was very heavy, and I said, Lord, if this is of the flesh, okay, it's gonna crumble. But if this is of you, no matter what I do, it's going to happen. Who gambles with the Lord, right? Who dares the Lord? Who do you think you are to dare the Lord, right? So, but I did dare the Lord. Like, okay, I will do my best, my willpower to sabotage this. I did everything to sabotage it. Okay, I was rude, I canceled it. I tried to sabotage everything. But again, it's God's blessing, right? It's God really break that. And we went to counseling, want to make sure it's just really, really, and God has blessed that. God has blessed that, and we've been married 13 years now. I have been blessed with this blended family. Jesus is a blended family, right? You know that? So it's blended family, right? And so looking back, remember I said it's heavy? It was very heavy. That heaviness was not a negative thing. The heaviness was actually, He has given me blessings, and it was so heavy that I could not carry it myself. My husband is a blessing. My stepchildren, my grandkids is a blessing. The community that we have been given is a blessing. So when there's heaviness, it's not necessarily heavy or a problem. Maybe it's a blessing. And I was like, oh, you're giving me treasure. And I was trying to, dump the treasure, and says no to the treasure. Because so that's heaviness was a treasure. And my husband is a treasure. And because of that treasure, I have my stepchildren, my kids, and I don't even tell them they're my stepchildren, they're my children. For me, they're my children. And the grandkids that we able to have. It's such a. I never thought I'm gonna be a grandparent at a young age, but it's been such a blessing. I like being that, and the community that God has given us, and really keeping us grounded in the Lord, leading us to Jesus. It's amazing. It has been an amazing. And my husband is such a wonderful, wonderful man of God. He's not perfect, by the way. Okay. but he's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful man of God that continue to lead me to Christ, continue to lead our family to Christ. And I could not have done everything that I'm doing now, as much as I'm doing some crazy stuff and doing this. I'm all over the place. And as my friends has told me in my Bible study when they met him, it's like, he calms you. What? He calms you and makes you smile. And I've always taught myself as a happy person, but God softened me. And I've always, I never thought that I was deserving of God's love. I never thought of I only see other people do that. Because I think I was too stubborn and too strong and independent that I don't need that. I don't want that. But I think people, when they say that I don't need that, they actually need it.
They just didn't realize it.
Mm-hmm. I've never been a hugger, because that's a very, I don't know, with Asian, we're not
Maybe,
a hugger.
Yeah, I guess that's from not just Asian, not from our experience, just like you said, that your parents not there.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get a hug from them.
Yes.
Even they stay with us, they don't hug us.
Yes. So when I started having kids, I hugged my kids so tightly that they said, "Mom!" And even they're 21 and 17, and so I'm still kind of not a hugger, and I'm slowly, even my friends like, okay, can you hug now? We'll do a 3 seconds, and now it's getting longer and longer, and and God softens you as we get older from inside out. He's cleaning us, right? We're cleaning us, and we're slowly, whenever that is, becoming like Jesus. And that's a hard place to replicate, but we just try our best. We try our best. So I'm just thankful. And when we feel heaviness, let's not look at that as a burden right away, because I did though, but then looking back, it's actually a treasure. And so me don't feel like love growing up, and that with Christ, he's surrounded me with so much love that it's overflowing, and every time I hear someone giving their life to Christ, I still remember that day. I remember it when they wanted me to, when I said I wanted to be baptized. You usually do it in a congregation. And I've always done life that I'm center of attraction, like I'm the leader, I'm this, I'm that. It's just so me, right? And so since I have gone walk with my Christ, I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be behind the scene, and Jesus Christ is more. Because when I am less, so Jesus Christ is more. Christ is more. And so when they said that it is good to have baptized at church, I didn't want it. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want everybody getting up and applauding me. That's not about that. Because for me, that became about me again. It has to be Jesus Christ. So I really fought when they were wanting me to be baptized at church. I was like, I'm not doing that. And so my friend looked at the Bible, and now I can't remember what part of the Bible is. That there was one that says, I want to follow Christ, and he got baptized right there, and just the two of them. And so it was very, very limited. So I was baptized on my birthday. I was 32 years old, and I was baptized on my birthday, and it was at the beach with my kids, and very, very few people like really the one that really prayed and really walked through this journey with Christ. So there might be like maybe 5 or 7 there, very, very small, not in the congregation, and it was at the beach, you know. So I want it to be that intimate, so it's about Christ, it's about Jesus, and it's not about, again, it's not about me again, because it has to be Jesus. When I'm doing that, and I said, your word is a lamp to guide my feet and a light for my path. I want him to do that. And you know, we have different Bible verses all our home. I use Bible verses as much as I can. When I am asked to do public speaking, I would throw in the Bible verses when people are saying, don't make it too churchy. I was like, no. It's everything I have. Christ allow it. God allow it. And so it has to be about them. It has to be about Jesus. It has to be about God. Because there's nothing we can do on our own. But I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. That's on the Philippians. You know, so those Bible verses, and when I pray to God, you know, when I have problems, I just use His word. It's kind of like, Mom, you said, so use this word. So thank you again for allowing me to share this. I'm a very private person, and lately my husband is encouraging me to say, you have to tell your story. You cannot keep that story for yourself, because God never told you to keep it. And God will invite us not because of our own ability. It's not because you're the greatest speaker. It's not because you're the best on this. It's really not about the best thing we can offer. It's really about our availability. Because if you look at all His apostles, they're all sinners. They all have their flaws, and all of us are our flaws. Will never be matching to Jesus Christ. But because He picked you, He picked us. Just be available in Jesus, and be available what He can allow you. And it's amazing. It's such a freedom when you allow Him to work in your life. And so I encourage you to share your story. And thank you again for inviting me. It's an honor.
Thank you. Your very good story.
If you would like to share your story, visit our website at shareyourstory.chat.